We're super happy to see you.
Oh yeah, good to see you guys. Yeah, so I've got a speaker on my face so that you can hear me over there. It's been tricky to hear people. And now that's being fickle. Because my speaker on my phone is not the best. Okay, so we're doing a class today. I don't know what this is doing.
It might be too close.
Okay. Oh, this thing back here. Okay. Can you guys hear me back there? Am I in the shot? Can you see me? I can't hear anything. Okay, so
That's good.
Okay. This is reclined to figure 4. So we're gonna come onto our backs. I probably should have just used your phone. This is already. Oh, let's go. Okay. Can you guys hear me without this thing? Yeah?
I can.
Yeah? Okay.
This is Valerie. I can.
Sweet. All right. So I'm just going to do a little bit of shouting. And my speaker usually doesn't work on my phone, but I'm going to do some shouting. So we're going to meet on our backs and revolve figure 4. We're going to bend both of our knees and plant the feet on the floor. Of course.
You want me to take her out of here?
Before my speaker needs stuff in my hair. All right, right ankle over left thigh. This is my day today, so just bear with me. I'm going to flex my right foot and engage my hip, and not my ankle and not my kneecap, but my hip. Push from my right hip into my left thigh. And then through that, I'm going to float my knees up into the sky. And I don't want to think about taking my knees down towards my chest. I want to think about taking my knees towards the wall behind me. So drawing a straight line from your left patella straight back towards the wall behind you. And then keep reaching your hips even with each other. So I'm trying to coax my hips to be level with each other and trying to root my pubic bone towards my face so that my pelvis starts to lift. And it starts to incorporate this lengthening sensation in my low back as well. I freed myself there. Think about space between each vertebra. So if you had helium, it'd be between each vertebra there. And then shoulders nice and relaxed. So this should feel exactly like one-legged king pigeon if we were hip facing down, same exact position. I go for 2 more breaths here as you continue to soften through the shoulders and think about creating space between each vertebra the whole time. So spaciousness on both sides, not needing one edge and another. And next time I exhale, I'm going to drop my legs over to the left and just let all of that go. Let go of any work. Try to soften into the belly and the low back. Soften the shoulders. So whenever I'm in a twist, I try to imagine that I'm in the front seat of a car and I'm turning around trying to have a conversation with someone in the back seat. So I'm not really worried about how deep I'm twisting. I'm trying to be more mindful of the conversation that's taking place. Can you get Ninja, please? She's obsessed with the line right in their Carolyn. And next time you inhale, we're going to bring the legs back up. Uncross right from left. I'm going to do the opposite side. So crossing left ankle over right thigh, we'll flex the left foot. From the left hip, I'm going to push into my right thigh. I'm going to think about growing long through the spine and stay engaged with that hip so I'm not pushing from my knee or my ankle. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to draw my legs in. So think about that right heel even squeezing towards your bum so that you have some leverage on the right leg to resist the force of your left hip, pushing into what is the floor. Your right leg is the floor. So exactly like one-legged king pigeon. Should feel just like it. Can you soften through the shoulders and the neck? Keep the space between your vertebra, and then think about curling your tailbone so that your pelvis lifts off of the ground. And again, drawing a straight line towards the wall behind you. So it is for hips, but it starts to include your QL, your obliques, your erector spinae. Starts to incorporate more of those intercostals there that hold on to a lot of tension. Keeping that foot flexed so you keep your kneecap safe. Next time you exhale, we're gonna drop the legs over to the right. So we're trying to wake up our hips here and softening into this twist. If anything brings you pain or strain, come out. Choose a twist of your choice or any kind of pose that's your choice that's not gonna create pain or strain, especially in the sacrum and the low back. We want to avoid any kind of compression. Think about space on both sides, all around you, 360 space. And don't feel like you need to fill that space with anything, but allow that space to be there. And softening through the jaw, softening through the meadows of your face. And then inhale, bring it back up. Uncross left from right. We'll roll over to the right hand side. We'll press ourselves up. All right, so we'll meet in all fours. Blanket is nice, it's not mandatory, but it is nice. Let's see if everything's good. There's still sweet. All right, so we'll meet in all fours. Your hands under the shoulders and knees under the hips. And we'll tuck the toes, pressing through the heels, and as you inhale, put a lift in your tailbone so to drop one vertebrae at a time. So not forcing it down into the ground, but just offering it down. Exhale, feet go flat, sit bones roll under. Try to use the muscles of the spine itself, so not the erectors around the spine, but the multifidi, the guys that actually move the spine. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the tailbone, drop the spine. If you don't know what those are, just move slower and you'll find them. Move with ease and you'll find them. Exhale, feet go flat, sit bones roll under. Clawing at the floor, lifting the spine, a sense of buoyancy in the spine to just surrender your head. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the tailbone, drop into the spine. Let the heart go past the hands. Exhale, feet go flat, sit bones roll under, lifting the spine, just surrendering the head. Inhale into a neutral spine, tucking the toes, cinching in around the waist so we have a lift in that rib cage there and relaxing the shoulders away from the hips. As you exhale, we're going to walk that over to the right hand side. So just until the left side says this is enough of a stretch. I'm going to keep my pubic bone rooted in that tabletop position. Inhale the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling so they come together and then forward towards the ears. Exhale down towards the floor and back towards the tailbone. Some shoulder mobility here. Inhale up towards the ceiling and forward towards the ears. Exhale down towards the floor and back towards the tailbone. One more in that direction, trying to keep the integrity of your tabletop and creating a sense of easefulness in the shoulders. We're not trying to agitate something that's potentially agitated already. Inhale back through center as you claw at the floor and stay long through the spine. Exhale over to the left. Nice stretch on the right side of your torso there, just as much as you need. Pushing through the heels in that tabletop position. Inhale the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling and back towards the tailbone. Exhale down towards the floor and forward towards the ears. Inhale up and back. Exhale down and forward. Find a sense of easefulness. One more. Inhale up and back. So there's space around the shoulders. Exhale down and forward. Not cranking in either position. Inhale back to center. And we'll go for some cards. So hopefully you have a ball for your myofascial practice. And if you don't, a tennis ball, and it's okay if you don't have anything. I just want you to think about gripping the heel towards the bum. When we put a ball behind the knee, it really helps you feel that feeling of squeezing the heel towards the bum. So if you have that available to you, take it. I'm going to face you for this one so you see what's happening in the hips here. So we'll take the ball into the right leg, behind the right knee. We're going to take our right elbow down and our left hand out to the side. So I'm going to actually take my right elbow and move it a little bit closer to the left and my left hand over to the left as well. And I'm going to push into that left leg and flip the right leg into the socket. So it's hovering off of the floor. My kneecap is plugged in and my full leg is plugged in. I'm going to squeeze the heel towards the bum and point my toes. And as I inhale, I'm going to nice and slow reach that left or right knee forward in space. Trying to reach it forward in space towards the wall in front of me. Once I can't go any further, I'm going to lift it up towards the ceiling. I really want to think about protracting my shoulder blades here. Once I can't go any higher, I'm gonna rotate my leg so my heel is higher than my knee. And I'm gonna take that up and over. So I really have to push through that right hip, left hip, sorry, make sure my left hip is stacked on top of my left knee. Once I can't go any further with that right leg, I'm gonna start to turn it in, grip the heel towards the bum, point through the toes, nice and slow, like moving through honey. I'm gonna reach it forward again towards the wall behind you. We're gonna reverse it this time. So flex your foot and then take it up towards the ceiling. No banana backing, really root the pubic bone towards your face and think cat back there. And then inhale, open up. Heel's gonna be higher than the knee. Out to the right there, reaching up and over. Push down to the hips, push down to the shoulders. Once I get to center, I'm gonna turn the knee to face forward, pointing through my toes, and then set my knee down. You're gonna move the ball if you have it, take to the opposite side. So nice little controlled articular rotations for the hips here. It should not be easy, and that should make you sweat. If you're not, there's something that isometric contractions that we're missing out on. Left elbow down, ball behind the left knee, right hand extended out to the right. I'm gonna move my left elbow and my right hand over to the right scotch. So I can plug my left leg into the socket and still have my right hip stacked on top of my right knee. Pointing through the toes, I'm gonna grip the heel to the bum and bring it forward towards the wall in front of me. And then inhale, I'm gonna take it up towards the ceiling, up. So I'm pushing down through the right hip and lifting through the strength of the left hip. I'm gonna rotate the leg so the heel is higher than the knee, and then take that up and over, pushing through the right hip, pushing up and over, up and over. I'm trying to keep the wall to the right of you there. Once I can go any further, nice and slow, turn the leg bone in, gripping the heel to the bum, moving through honey. How slow can you go as you push through your shoulders and your hips, bringing our right knee or left knee forward. Exhale, flex the foot. Left foot's gonna kick up towards the ceiling without banana backing. Keep the integrity of the tabletop here in your spine. Inhale, open up so the heel is higher than the knee and reach that whole unit up towards the ceiling as you bring it forward towards the armpit. Up and over. Once I get to center, I'm gonna turn the knee to face forward, point through the toes, and then exhale, set it down. Take the ball out to the side. And either take a child's pose or a down dog. And for my child's pose, I'm going to walk it out to my left side and give it a nice stretch of the side body. A lot of times our hip tightness comes from that good old side body, the lateral line. And we don't necessarily pay much attention to the strength of the side of our torso. And that contributes a lot of tightness to the TFL, affecting all of our abductors there. Inhale back to center if you're in your child's pose. Exhale over to the right. Dropping in. What's different one side to the other? Noticing what comes up, stirs up in our mind machine, and what shakes loose in the body. And then inhale back from center. And exhale, we're gonna meet in a down facing dog. So we're gonna start with a low lunge. I like to break it underneath my knees. If you need a blanket for your joints, bring it in. Down facing dog, reaching down and forward through those elbows. Always this feeling of a little bend in my elbows, also known as turbo dog. If you remember turbo dog. This feeling of the shoulder blades going flat on the back, and then reaching down and forward, and the elbows sweeping towards each other, so that we're kissing the dorsal helping us out as well. From our downward facing dog, the right leg will float up in Kapata. Toes facing down, hips facing down. Exhale, knee to chest, plank pose. Let's hold for 3. How high can your knee get? Knee to left armpits. 2. Knee to right armpits. 1. Knee to center. Exhale, plant it for a low lunge. I'm gonna take the left leg, turn it in, and set it down. Digging my right heel down and back, I'm gonna float myself up into a low lunge. If your arms are okay floating up, any position for the arms there, but drop your right hip down, lift your left hip up. Root your pubic bone and cinching around the waist. I'm going to reach my right heel to my left knee so much that I'm going to stack my torso right on top of that left knee. I'm going to keep that feeling for 5. So keep reaching right heel to left knee. 4. Keep cinching in around the waist so you soften shoulders. 3. 2. Some strengthening for the psoas there. 1. As you exhale, let the hands come around the heart as I reach both legs down and back. So both legs down and back. I'm reaching, so it's become a passive stretch for my psoas now. I'm going to leave my right hand on my thigh. Inhale your left arm up. Little rotation to the left with your torso. And as you exhale, lateral stretch to the right. So I don't want you to think about just dumping your weight over to the right. Think about lifting that left side of your rib cage up towards the ceiling. So much of that right hand is really light. It might be placed on my core or my thigh, but it's actually really light because I'm lifting up and out with my rib cage there. And then as I exhale, I'm going to round out. Plant the hands on the inside of my right foot, and I'm actually going to come off of my mat so that I can turn to the right and get onto the outer edge of my left thigh. So I'm trying to soften my shoulder, my left shoulder up towards my ears. And I'm trying to soften my pelvis away from my rib cage. So there's no trying here, just let gravity do what it does best. If I needed more in my back leg, I do have the option of bending into that knee, but I'm avoiding pain in my kneecap and yanking on the kneecap and yanking on the mid-thigh. Any feeling deep in the intercostals there is probably your psoas, and it's a good place to be. One more round of breath here. Just notice what comes up. Try not to move through any pain or strain, but honoring it. Releasing the foot if you have it without it flapping. And then exhale, we're going to round out. Find a forward fold. We're going to move into a runner's lunge. So if you'd like a block for underneath your shin bone, I'm going to inch my right foot forward and then come up and back into a runner's lunge. So I don't necessarily need a block. If I don't feel my feet on the floor, that's okay. But if the floor is a little bit too far away from me, I can put my hand onto the block here. And then what I want to think about is that left hip stacking on top of my left knee. So almost like you're scooching your hips over to the right so you can stay stacked there. And then a bend in that right knee so I can actually glue my tummy to my thigh. And then from there, I'll eventually straighten out the leg. But I want to feel a heaviness through that right heel, some traction of it kind of being pulled back to the right as my right hip reaches back behind me, my left hip comes forward. So an isometric traction of sorts there. And if you want to take this into Hanumanasana, you have long hamstrings, you can take it right into that. You want to make sure that you're feeling a stretch in the low back, wrapping around the hips, and that it's not just isolated to the hamstrings. As you inhale, we'll come back into that front knee bend. And I'm going to come into a skater pose here. So I'm going to lift that back leg up, bring my block over to the left, switch it over to the left, and find right knee bent, left leg straight. So I'm not mirroring you right now, but I'm going to throw you off. Right leg bent, left leg straight. You have the option of coming into this side lunge here. It's going to be the same exact thing. Eventually from skater, you're going to come down into the side lunge. Wherever you are, you just want to make sure that you're feeling a stretch on the inner adductors there for that left leg. Some lengthening in the QL on the back side there. And make sure that your torso is above your hips and your hips are above your knees. And try to keep your knees stacked on top of those ankles, lifting the arches of both feet. 2 more breaths wherever you are. It should feel like work. If that the hip is too low, you're not going to feel your hip firing off and you'll be wasting a little bit of time. And then inhale, we'll bend back into that front knee, move that block out of the way. Find a 3-legged dog. Big inhale there. And we're going to set up for a 1-legged king pigeon. So as you exhale, bring the knee into the chest, opening up the hip and setting it down for 1-legged king pigeon. If the floor is too far away from you, you can fold the blanket in half and tuck it underneath that right sit bone. And if not, you can stay up. So if you have a block, I recommend bringing it in front of you so I can pack my hands into it. I'm going to push down into my hips and think about cinching in around the waist. Cinching in around the waist. And just hold that feeling there. Pushing down through the hips, cinching around the waist. Lifting and engaging. I'm going to let that go and just be passive. We've got 2 more of those. And they're proper pelvic floor lifts. Inhale, cinch in around the waist. This feeling of putting on a tight fitting pair of pants. Or trying to lift the rib cage off of the pelvis. Nice little burning into the hip there. Exhale. Releasing. We got just 1 more. Inhale, cinching around the waist. I have to engage through my hips, no pain in the knee or the ankle. Trying to make sure that I'm in a place of integrity. And then exhale, letting that go. We'll take it down into a reclined, 1-legged pigeon. So I'm still pushing into my hips. I'm still guiding my right hip back and my left hip forward. I'm still cinching in around the waist. This feeling of growing up and out of the pelvis with my spine. If I needed more, I wanted to include my back quad. Just be mindful with it. I can bend into my back knee, grab onto that foot, and then come down. It's not mandatory, but if I wanted to include a quad stretch, it does affect the tightness and the entanglement that happens in the right hip. So if it's too much, I don't use it. If it's right up my alley, then I just add it. All options are the right ones as long as your body feels right. If you have that back leg, we'll release without it flapping. Take a couple more breaths here. You feel a delightful exhaustion in that right hip. And then we'll tuck the toes, clap the hands. Your exhale will push the floor away. Your inhale will come up into three-legged dog. From three-legged dog, you're gonna bend your right knee, glue your right heel to your right sit bone. Just like you have that ball behind your knee again, glue it. And then take your right knee towards the ceiling. Left hip towards the wall behind you. Right heel to sit bone, squeeze, knee towards ceiling, lift, left hip back, reach. Inhale, three-legged. Exhale, place it down. Nice rest or move. If you'd like to follow me, inhale forward into a chaturanga. Exhale to just lift the elbows up towards the ceiling. You should land in a baby cobra if our shoulder girdle is engaged. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Any back bend of your choice. Exhale, leading with the core, coming back into a downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths there. Think about bringing your blanket back underneath your knees if you like it for your little lunge. Remember how tight that hip felt, and then you can get some more feedback on this other side. Inhale the left leg to float up. Ekapada. Hips down, toes down. Exhale, knee to the chest. Plank pose. Hold for 3. Knee to right armpit. 2. Knee to left armpit. How high does the knee go? 1. Knee to center. Exhale, plant it for a low lunge. Turn the right eye inside down. Left heel digs down and back to float you up. So I don't want to push down and forward through my heel. I want to dig down and back through my heel. Arms will float up as you even up with the hips. So left hip down, right hip up. Root the pubic bone. Cinching in around the waist and trying to relax through the shoulders here. Left heel reaching towards right knee for 5. Keep reaching so that right hip stacks over the right knee. 4. Keep relaxing through the shoulders though. 3. Cinching in around the waist. 2. Don't forget to smile. 1. As you exhale, hands down towards the heart, reaching down and back in both legs, making it passive for the psoas. If we don't want it too passive, so stay where you need to for the health of your psoas. Left hand down. Inhale, right arm up. Rotate the torso to the right. Exhale, lateral stretch to your left. Lifting the right side of the rib cage. Think about lifting up and out of the pelvis, not bending up and over, but lifting, just like a snake. And then I'll find just this effortlessness in my left arm because my torso is holding me upright and my legs are holding my torso up. As you exhale, we're going to round out. Plant the hand on the inside of the left foot and then walk it off of your mat. So you got some space here. I'm going to turn towards the left, kind of this funky variation of Bashi, side plank there. And then just noticing if I need to move the left leg wherever it needs to be there. So I'm trying to think about letting that right shoulder hike up towards the right ear. I like to maybe drop my head onto my shoulder to make that connection. Let the pelvis drop away from the shoulder, and then if I needed more, I could bend into that back knee. Again, avoiding pain or strain in my kneecap and my knee thigh. I'm trying to find just enough of a stretch there. I don't want to agitate something that's potentially already agitated. When I start a conversation where I'm mostly listening, I'm not the one doing the talking, I'm the one doing the listening. That's really important for this conversation. Couple more breaths there. Can you notice which side is tighter than the other? Releasing that back leg if you have it without it flapping, and exhale, round out and come to the front. So I'm going to lift my back leg up and then turn to my right, skater pose. So left knee is going to be bent, heels in, toes out, torso above hips, hips above knees. And again, if I need a deeper expression, I'll come down into that side lunge. It's going to feel the exact same way. Kind of like a forward fold, whether you're halfway down or all the way down, it's going to feel the same. As long as this hip is engaged here, pushing into the floor, like an isometric squat there. Think about growing, again, up and out of the pelvis, so there's space between each vertebra, and as I stay nice and long. Go for one more full round of breath here. Lifting the arches, we are not hanging out here. Inhale, we'll come back to the front, frame the foot, take it up and back, three-legged dog. And your exhale is going to bring the knee into the chest, exhale, rotate to the hip, and find a one-legged T pigeon. So I'm not trying to find my edge or my max. I'm trying to find something that I can do some pelvic floor lifts in. So I'm going to bring my block underneath my hands, bring the floor closer to me. Feel that I'm pushing my left hip into the ground, some sense of buoyancy in there. And I'm going to cinch in around the waist and start to engage. So pushing down through the hips, cinching in around the waist, and feeling of lifting the off the pelvis there. And keep cinching in and growing long. And then exhale, soften. Two more of this. Inhale, push and engage, cinch in, like putting on a tight fitting pair of jeans, something that is not stretchy, and you're trying to put it on anyway. Relaxing through the shoulders here, don't let the tension creep up your spine. And exhale, soften. We got one more. Inhale, cinch in, pushing through the hip, lifting through the ribcage. Pushing through the hips and lifting through the ribcage. Soft smile always helps. Exhale, soften. Moving it up into a reclined position. Still engaged with my left hip. It's just a step above not doing it. I don't want to push so my eyeballs bulge from their sockets. I don't want to push so my jaw's clenching. I want to just make contact. Do you feel the floor pushing into you? Can you push back into the floor with the same kind of love that it's pushing into you? So I'm just making contact, starting conversations and things around me. If I bent my back knee on the left side, I'll bend it on this side. About 5 more breaths to go. Trying to stay the same amount of time on both sides here. But notice which hip is tighter, which one has a fun time, which one is, needs to be talked off the edge lovingly every time. But either way, I want space around me. If I look around and there's no space, there's nothing but brick walls, I need to modify it somehow because I'm dumping into my soft tissues if I'm doing that. I'm compensating and I'm not moving for my capacity, I'm moving for my compensatory skills. I'm gonna release that foot if I have it. Plant the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toe. Exhale, push the floor away. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left heel to bum, squeeze the heel toward the bum. Lift the left kneecap up towards the ceiling, move the right hip away from the right armpit. And keep all of those actions alive. Heel to bum, knee up, right hip back. Should be a nice little burn. Inhale to straighten, exhale to set it down. Rest or move, down dog child pose or vinyasa. If you're with me, inhale forward, plank pose, tips the toes. Exhale, just lift the elbows up towards the ceiling. Lift the elbows. Inhale, cobra or up dog, rooting the pubic bone, forward to your knees. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Lean, lift the core as you come up and back. Take 3 breaths here. Pedaling out the legs. Maybe staying static, kind of tap into that turbo dog. Anything else that you want to add in here, you're welcome to it. This is your practice. So if you're very advanced, take an advanced pose. And if you're just beginning, hang out in a child's pose. All right, we're gonna hop to our shin bones. So skip it if you don't need. I'm gonna bend my knees forward. Exhale, just hop in there and shin bones. Just gotta push into the floor there. So we're gonna go for a little variation of half fish pose or Ardha Matsyendrasana. So I'm gonna take my left leg in. So I'll take my right hand to the top of my left ankle and my left hand to the top of my thigh. I'm gonna guide it in so it's coming straight out of the top of it. And then right leg either in front of your shin bone, on top of your knee, or on the other side of your thigh. What I need you to do is keep your weight into your left sit bone. I know traditional Ardha Matsi, we're on both sit bones because it's a twist. For this one, we're working with the hip. So put all of your weight into your left hip and just make sure that wherever that right leg is, that you're able to move from there. So I'm trying to do this with no hands. If you need some hands, maybe the left hand down onto the floor. But essentially, I want to move from the capacity that my hip has. So I'm going to push into my left hip, float my right leg up, and take it back behind me. Let's go. And then inhale, we're going to bring it right back. So if you took class with Tiffany on Yoga Glow a few weeks ago, this is the one. Push, exhale, take it down. Inhale, push, bring it forward. So I'm not planting my foot, I'm just kind of co-creating that shape. Exhale, take it up and back, moving from my left hip. Inhale, take it up and forward. Just one more. Exhale, take it up and back. Inhale, take it up and forward. And this time we'll let it land. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to twist over to your right. So I don't want you to get into this super monstrosity of a twist. Can you just imagine you're trying to turn a talk to somebody in the back seat? Someone's in the back seat and they're trying to tell me a story. My point is not to be the exorcist and turn all the way around and show them my skills. My job is to listen. So can I just set my body in this position and allow myself to listen? Listen to the quality of your breath, how it finds spaciousness in your body. Maybe even create some more space or exposes the space to you. Similar to when we play sound healing instruments, that they expose the sound or help you create that space. I'm trying to slow the breath down. Notice what comes up in that mind machine. As we inhale, we'll lengthen back to center. And exhale, we're going to exit the same way. So I'm going to lift my leg, take it back behind me, plant my hands. Downward facing dog. If you're with me, inhale forward, plank pose. Exhale, lifting the elbows. Think about baby cobra on your shoulders there. You land in baby cobra. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, leading with the core in your shoulder girdle, up and back into downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths there. And just notice one leg to the other, one shoulder to the other. And how does it feel to move with my capacity and not depend on me yanking on limbs to get into a deeper expression? Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, hop and push to land. I'm going to bring my legs out in front of me, and this time I'm going to bend my right knee. Guiding that leg straight out the hip socket, left leg. Choose where you want to be. You already know your weight's going to be shifted into that right leg, so wherever that leg wants to be. Just choose a position that's easy to return to and underneath it. So as you exhale, pushing into that hip and taking that left leg back behind you. And then inhale, coming up and over. Don't plant the foot, just make the shape. Exhale, push through your right hip, come up and over. Push into that hip the whole time. Inhale, coming back. So if you're getting exhausted, aching, don't have to push 100% through that hip. Exhale, up and over. Anything you want to do with the hands there too, whatever's going to help you. Inhale, back. 2 more. Exhale, up and over. Feel which hip is the stronger one. Inhale, up and back. Last one, exhale. Pushing through that hip. Inhale, coming back down. Set the foot down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to twist to your left. So again, I'm talking to somebody in the back seat. I'm not preoccupied with trying to twist deeper. I'm really just trying to listen to the conversation that's happening in my head. What information did I become aware of? What feedback can I get back from that hip? Was it easier for this hip? Was it harder? Did I have more mojo in the other hip and not really in this one? Maybe I can't even push into that hip and move at all. And it's all great information. Ego checks nonetheless, but it's very powerful information. Slowing the breath down. Noticing where the breath goes. Feel the space that you've created in your body. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, same exit. I'm gonna push into my right hip, take that left leg back, plant a hand, downward dog. Inhale, forward plank pose, skip it if you don't need it. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, feet on the belly. Inhale, Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, leading with the core. Find a little turbo dog there of sorts. Now we got one more for the hips here. So a little hopping for a second. So I'm gonna take my right leg up towards the sky, toes facing down, hips facing down. I'm gonna shift my way forward, skip it if you don't need it. I'm gonna pull up to my right leg, and maybe it's a little step, so I'm gonna hop my left foot over to my right wrist. And then I'm gonna reverse it. So maybe it's 3 hops, maybe it's 1. One more, exhale. Pulling up, hop the left foot forward. Inhale, pull into that right leg, hop the left foot back. Exhale, knee to chest plank pose. And then we're gonna find a variation of one-legged pigeon. So find a really sweet variation. And actually, you're gonna open up to the side. So let's open up like so. Right-legged, feet out to the side. I'm trying to do some upright windshield wipers. So think about your hands pushing to the floor, and we'll take our legs over to the left. Let's get a feeling for what's going on in our hips, and if it's easy to do or not. Probably not. Inhale back up to center, and then exhale over to the right. So I really have to think about cat pose when I come out to get my legs to come up. So exhale, cat pose. I'm gonna curl in, take my legs over to that side, left side. And exhale, cat pose, bring my legs up and take them over to the right. All right, one more time, cat pose. We're gonna come through center and then plant to the left. So my left leg is forward, my right leg is back. And I'm gonna keep this feeling here. I'm gonna see if I can push into my right leg. So I might need my hands on the floor. If I need my hands on the floor, it's gonna look like this. And if I don't need hands, it's gonna look like this. And then come up. And I'm gonna come down. And then we're gonna come through center and switch up and over to the right, and then push to the right leg and come up. Use your hands if you need to. Exhale, sit the hips back, cat pose to go through center. Plant the left leg down. Inhale. Come on. Exhale, sitting back, cat pose, and breathe through center. Exhale, push and forth. Come on. Inhale, take the hips back. Exhale, cat pose through center. Inhale, push, and come on up. One more. Exhale, down and over. Think cat pose. Inhale, up. Last time, exhale, down. Think cat pose, up and over. Inhale, up. Exhale, clap the hands and take it back. Down facing dog. Stay here or inhale forward. Plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, lifting the elbows, coming down. Land in a baby cobra. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Taking it deeper or keeping it in that baby. Exhale, tuck the toes, leap with the core. Downward facing dog. And this time, left leg floats up. Toes face down, hips face down. Look at your right hand, shift your weight slightly forward. Left hand, sorry, shift your weight forward. Start to pull it through that left leg, and maybe it's 1 hop, maybe it's 4 hops. So get that right foot towards the wrist, and then inhale, nice and slow, reversing the back. Exhale, hopping it forward, right foot, left wrist. Inhale, hopping it back. Exhale, knee to chest plank pose. And then inhale, set it down. I'm going to turn around and put some guys up. Same sequence. So find that position with your feet, which is basically upright windshield wipers. Using my hands or not. I'm going to exhale, take my legs, or actually over to the right. Let's switch sides. Exhale, move your center, cat pose, curl up, come over to the left. Exhale, cat pose, come through center. Inhale, move to the right. Exhale, cat pose, come through center. Inhale, over to the left. All right, here we go. Exhale, cat pose through center. And inhale, up. Exhale, take the hips back. Cat pose through center. Inhale, push down and come up. Exhale, take the hips down. Through center, cat pose. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, take the hips back. Cat pose. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hips back. Cat pose through center. Inhale, come on up. Last one. Exhale, to back, up and over. Inhale, come on up. Going on my backside though. Exhale, come down. Swift up and over. Come on up. Last time. Exhale down. Switch up and over. Come on. Exhale, front hands, downward facing dog. Rest if you need it. Inhale, forward plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Nose morning. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take about 4 breaths there. Okay, let's keep going. All right. And then we'll come on down next time you inhale, grab your ball. We're gonna do a little MyoFascial for the QL. So if you have a tennis ball anywhere in your house, go grab one. If you don't have any balls and you have a blanket, you can roll up the blanket and put it in that same position. It's just not gonna be as juicy, but it is some kind of traction there for your QL. So my quadratus lumborum connects from the top of my iliac crest to my ribs there, and I want to go somewhere in between the two. So I'm not on ribs and I'm not on my hip bone. That's the feeling there. So I'm going to lay on my back. I'm going to roll away from the side that I'm going to do. Place the ball between the rib cage and the pelvis, avoiding ribs, and then coming up and over into constructive rest pose or bridge prep. I'm going to bring that right knee in. If the ball's on the right side, I'm going to bring my right knee in. And I'm going to find some traction there. I might even roll my torso over to the right a little bit as I keep that knee hugged in. And it should feel like an exquisite elbow in your back there. Just trying to check in with the quality of your breath here and just notice the feedback that you got from your practice today. Was some of this stuff kind of hard to do with no hands or no support? We want to move with what's actually tangible strength in our joints, in our range of motion, and not just compensate, which a lot of yogis, it's hard for them not to compensate. We're trying to get out of the habit of just yanking on limbs and see what can they do on their own. A couple more breaths here if you feel like moving in any way. Maybe little knee circles, or a little wagging of your tail. If you're familiar with Myo, take some pin and stretch or some cross fiber, whatever you're comfortable with. Just trying to keep it simple today. It's hard to give direction, especially when I can't see bodies. And go around and see where the balls are, make sure that they're in a good spot. And then we'll set the foot down, roll away from the ball, remove it, and lay flat. And just feel that little bit of difference there. Especially if you have tight back, you're going to feel a difference right away. And we want to get out of the habit of using our erectors to move and use these smaller muscles to move. I'm going to find the opposite side. Opposite side between the rib cage and the pelvis, avoiding the ribs because these balls will crush those ribs. Shout out to Tiffany and her yoga medicine balls. They're fabulous. And I've made a whole team of believers out here. Miracle of these myofascial balls. Softening here as you reach the knee in, moving in any way that intuitively you want to move in. And if you've never done myo before, just kind of hang out on the ball here. Don't want to move into unknown territory. Think about softening the muscle fibers over the ball and trying to invite the ball into the muscle fibers. I'm not trying to bulldoze through a brick wall or like a tenderizer of sorts. I'm not trying to tenderize my tissues. I'm trying to hydrate them. And hydration is a completely different conversation. Usually to hydrate, you just have to drink water. You don't have to, create pain or strain. You just have to hydrate. Couple more breaths wherever you are. Noticing what got shooken out of that mind machine. And setting the foot down. Rolling away from the ball. Remove it. lay flat. Feel that difference there? Bring the knees in towards the wall behind you as you rock side to side, and feel that difference. Probably feels like your knees come further towards the wall behind you. And then we're gonna end the same way we started. So I'm gonna set my feet down, cross my right ankle over my left thigh, flex my right foot, and draw my legs in. So I'm trying not to interlace my hands. Again, what's the functional range of my natural hip? I can go much deeper if I thread my hands through and yank on my leg. I can go much deeper, but what can my hip do on its own? Can my hips level out? Can my right hip engage with my left leg? Can my left heel drag towards my left sit bone? My right foot stay flexed? How much can I be aware of at any given moment? And hopefully this feels more easeful than when we first started. Exhale, drop the legs over to the left. And this time, inhale your left arm up and exhale it across your chest and let your gaze go with it. And just softening into this expression here. Noticing that bit of work that we did. Noticing the difference in the bigger muscles attached to these deep stabilizers. Maybe their responses to lengthen, or to finally let go of compression, or to unravel in some way. And you might not feel it now. You might feel it when you get into your daily habit there, walking around, or when you step outside, or whatever other workout you're going to do. But just be mindful when something comes up today where you notice the changes. Inhale everything back up to center. Uncross right from left. And then inhale across your left ankle over your right thigh, flex your left foot, and draw the legs in. No help with the hands. Think about squaring off through the hips and reaching that right knee straight back so that the tailbone lifts off of the floor. And you actually access the whole left hip. And not just the left hip, but your external rotators. You've got your low back stuff, your QL, your erectors, obliques. Depending on how I'm switching my hips, I can feel my lats in there, just a scotch, depending on what direction I'm tractioning my hips towards. But can I stay nice and long in the spine, soft in the face and the shoulders, and space between each vertebra? This is more important than yanking on the legs to try to get deeper. Exhale, drop your legs over to the right. Inhale, float your right arm up, and exhale, cross it over to your left. Soften the belly and lower back. Soften the mind, let something fall out, and trust that you don't need it anymore. Inhale, back up to center. Uncross left from right. Bring the knees in and rock side to side. And you've made it to Shavasana. Extending the legs, supporting yourself in any way that feels good for your final resting pose. I have the privilege of being in my sensei's dojo right now. So thank you for letting us use the space virtually. And then he also has this amazing Ren that mostly we know is a couple hundred years old. So just rest and relax and listen to the sounds of the Ren and let your mind follow the sound and let your mind rest on the sound. Noticing the space that the sound created or exposed to you. Feeling a deep sense of gratitude and reverence for your practice. But we still have this ability to connect with each other, even if not in person. Really trying to feel content with that. Santosha. And starting to breathe this gratitude out through your fingers and your toes. Take the gratitude and infuse it in every cell in your body, just by feeling grateful as you breathe. And allowing that breath to hit every corner of your body as you continue to feel grateful. And as the breath feels deep enough, you can start to wiggle through your fingers and your toes. Start to roll through your ankles and your wrists. And start to extend through your arms and your legs, moving and stretching in any way that feels good. Trying to feel like Switzerland, nice and neutral. And when you feel neutral, rolling over to that right-hand side. And pressing yourself up as you inhale into an easy sitting pose or Sukhasana. Pose of all poses. I like to say that there are no peaks beyond this peak of all peaks. Interlacing the hands in the lap. I'm comfortable if my hips are higher than my knees. So if I can sit on something for just a short little meditation to just feel the changes in the body. Allowing everything to be, so whatever you notice, not feeling the need to change it. So noticing what shoulder is further away from the ear than the other, without changing anything. Notice what sit bone you're leaning into more than the other. Maybe you're leaning forward in space or backwards in space or to the side. Noticing any sensation between the palms of the hands there. Any buzzing or humming in the body as we look for signs of rest and digest in full effect. And coming back to this support system that's deep within us, regardless of external circumstances. There is this support that unwavers through all of our phases in life. Making a connection with that support system here. Feeling its presence and giving it some gratitude there. Now we'll take an inhalation here together. And we'll exhale the hands down by the sides, palms up. Your inhale will float those arms up to the sky. Grab some sunshine and exhale those photons down your heart center. Letting the chin fall in towards the chest as you seal a gorgeous practice. Gratitude for yourself that you took the time to be here. Gratitude for everyone who's sharing the space virtually with you. And gratitude for this practice of yoga itself, that we get to be a little tiny part of something so huge. And in this place, may you have openness of heart, clarity of mind, a deep breath, and a grateful body. And from my grateful heart to yours, namaste. Right. So, can anybody hear me out there?
Yes.
Sweet.
Thank you, Leslie. That was lovely.
Awesome. I don't know how to handle this whole Zoom on my phone thing. So
Well, remember when I was teaching, I completely dropped off and had to get back on while I was teaching. So at least you stayed on the whole time. You made it.
yeah, I'm glad that worked out, I guess, eventually. Yeah.
Thank you, Leslie. That was really nice.
Thanks, Leslie.
I'm glad you liked it. Hey, Eddie, holy mackerel. Good to practice with you. Cool, I got some teacher trainers on here. That's awesome. Yeah, I wish.
Leslie. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you guys. Oh, here we go. Here's more people. Now I can see. Oh, there goes. Hey, Brianna. Hey. I miss you guys in studio. Hey, Sarah.
Miss being in the studio.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining in. Thanks for sticking out with my technical issues. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's really, and if you felt like donating, it'd be really great to donate towards Yoga Medicine Seva. They do a lot of good, and I think there's a link somewhere where you can click that Kira can help you out with.
That's in the chat.
It was practice with you guys.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm keeping myself muted, and we got a lot of noise in the background. That was such a beautiful practice. Thank you so
It was
much.
great. It was a great
Like it.
practice.
Sweet. Music to my ears.
See you next week, everyone.
Bye, Valerie.